I am just walking nonchalantly without paying attention. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Does flexibility help prevent injuries? Let's get into it. As a guy who's pretty flexible, look, yeah, and a guy who sometimes does some dangerous stuff, look. I have had my fair share of injuries. But then the question becomes again, could I have gotten more injuries if I wasn't as flexible as I am? If we go ahead and take a look at exhibit number A, several years ago, Chang was rock climbing and he took a nasty fall.
Oh no!
As he fell down, this type of landing occurred.
His face is gonna hit the ground. It does.
You can see his face is damn near right next to his feet and his knee is way above his head. And now comes the multiple choice. Did he A, get injured, or B, walk it off, or C, At that time, he went with C, and then he continued climbing. And now I want us to look at exhibit B. Many of years ago, Chang was running outdoors because he was in his running phase, going no shoes because he got that dog in him. And he stepped into a pothole. He then proceeded to do a wop wop with his ankle. And now, did he A, fall down, cry about it for a long time, B, walk it off, or C, How intriguing. That's right, he again went with C. The way that I like to explain it is like this. Flexibility does not prevent injuries. However, what it does do is allow you a greater range of motion in life that you will not get injured in. Let's take this imaginary measurement bar pillar, for example. If you're only capable of lifting your leg up till here, and this is your safe zone, all of this space, but the second it starts to rise any higher, that's when your muscles start to get scared and they start to contract on you. No boots. Anyways, and so unless you pull it back, you're now at risk of injury. The more flexible you are, the more you're able to expand upon that range of motion. Currently, for me, my amount of range of motion, where I'm able to move about freely in a safe manner under a normal amount of load, looks a little something like like that.
Yeah, I'm tired of shit and the coffee ain't.
Which means if someone wanted to take this baseball bat and they go ahead and smash my knee with it, do you know what would happen? That's right. I would be on the floor crying. Wham! Wham! And that's only because flexibility does not make your bones stronger. It does not help prevent blunt force impact. Blunt force as in punching, or sharp as in slicing, or piercing as in being stabbed. Ugh. I will still feel all of that. The only difference here is when it comes to movement of my own body under a normal amount of load, I am personally able to experience more freedom of movement without any or just a very small amount of discomfort. For some people, when performing middle splits, if you actually physically force their legs to spread out like this, their groin might literally rip apart. But if you're flexible, all that happens is your legs just simply move apart and you come to the floor. Nice, safe, and easy. But with a baseball bat, it doesn't matter if you're only this flexible. Smashing the knee is still gonna smash it. It doesn't matter if you're this flexible. Smashing the knee is still gonna smash it. In a very strange way, being flexible helps prevent bodily harm via bodily restrictions upon yourself, which is kind of interesting to think about, really. And now you might be at home wondering, well, if flexibility actually doesn't necessarily prevent injuries, but just allows you more ranges of motion where you're not able to get injured in, as long as the amount of force is normal, is it worth it to actually become flexible? Well, let's talk about what happens when you're actually not flexible versus when you are, given the exact same scenarios. Let's hop into it. I would like to start with something you may have seen before, but mayhaps have never thought of it as being flexible because of how ridiculously powerful these individuals are. And what I am talking about is the lovely sport of Olympic weightlifting. If we look at this specimen perform what's known as a clean followed by a jerk, sure, he is very strong, but if we slow it down and pinpoint every key position, we're gonna notice that when he sets up for the cleaning portion of the lift, his body is in this really nice low position. Heels flat on the ground, spine nice and straight. It's hard to do that if you're not flexible. Secondly, when he does go ahead and clean the weight, he's now catching it in, again, that very low position. You're not holding this position if you don't have the ankle mobility, the flexibility in the knees, and the ability to stay upright. Yes, it is strength dependent, but it's also, if you can't apply that strength to those specific angles, you're gonna collapse. And finally, maybe my favorite part of this, when they go ahead and perform the jerk motion, the motion where they lift the weight above their heads, look at how locked out those elbows are. Look at how in front the head is in front of those shoulders. That right there is an expression of excellent shoulder mobility. Without this excellent shoulder mobility, there's no way you're pushing that much weight above your head and keeping it above your midline without drastically arching your back. And now let me take it back just a tiny bit and make it a little bit more sense for the more common lifter. Everyone has this problem that goes to the gym. Typically speaking, anytime it comes to an overhead pressing movement, instead of pressing the weight up and behind the head to get a full an extension of the shoulders, most people, due to a lack of mobility, will typically just press the weight out in front of their bodies this way. While I'm not here to say that is not good, I am here to say that if you're unable to express your shoulder strength in all the ranges of motion, I really don't want to say this next part, but I will, then you're gonna start to create some slight imbalances within your shoulder. That imbalance being, you are only pressing in front of your body, therefore you're never building the strength to press it behind your body. You're gonna be so anteriorly focused. And again, I'm not like necessarily an advocate for all that, oh, your body needs to be 100% perfectly balanced in order to be a good athlete or super healthy at all. I'm definitely not like that, but I'm just saying, if you can only press like that, it means that anytime and every time you're working out those specific movement patterns, those lifts, you're building strength in a position you're already very good in a position you are forced to be in. And the way I like to view it is, while there's nothing wrong with favoring a specific angle, I definitely do that too. If you're unable to get into other angles, you're facilitating the preservation of a weakness, and that's just not good in terms of the whole human body. Ideally, yes, I can squat all the way ATG. However, I sometimes prefer to just go halfway down and then back up for whatever reason, a straight angle specific strength. Yes, I can OHP up and behind my head, but because I'm, I don't know, practicing a very specific forward type of movement pattern, I've been working a lot on just pressing up and in front of my body. If you are forced into one specific angle of movement, then I believe that is a weakness that should be looked into. That weakness over time will start to build some bad habits and start to link to the rest of your body, because you know how everything's kind of connected to one another. For example, let's say shoulder, front delt gets wumbo because you can't press behind your head. Now you start to hunch a little bit and you're not so sure why. Eventually as you start to hunch, your back starts to round. As you start to round, you start to walk a little bit like this. And now your lower back starts to hurt because it's constantly being strained and constantly being forced to try to pry yourself up. But since you're so rounded, you're looking like this, so on and so forth. I'm obviously not saying that's gonna happen to everyone. I know some very well-rounded Ninja Turtles that are very, very strong and got back style, wumbly huge, and totally fine human beings. The point is, and I don't really want to brag, but I kind of have to brag, I've never necessarily experienced discomfort while moving my body under a moderate to heavy load. or a light load depending on the range of motion I'm going with. Some people I know will complain that their backs are knotted up or they're pinching. Or when they try to spread their legs, oh, my hips are pinching. The only thing I necessarily experience is just a general weakness. That weakness coming in the form of, oh my God, I'm not strong enough. The weakness never comes in the form of, oh my God, if I go down 1 more inch, my stuff is gonna rip. Nope, it's always just, yeah, I'm too weak. If I go down, I'm just not coming back up. I feel if it's the video has gotten away from me a little bit and I don't want to make it overly long. In summary, while being flexible does not necessarily prevent injuries, I am still prone to everything that you are prone to. It's just my ability of range of motion to be prone to it is just so much more vast compared to someone that is not as flexible as me. Additionally, on a daily basis, I don't experience those small discomforts that you might or might not experience when it comes to just moving your own body. Of course, if someone that's 500 pounds sits on me, I'm screwed. But I could lift up my feet like this, and I'm totally cool. And therefore, the conclusion is this. Yes, flexibility does kind of prevent a lot of injuries and allows you to walk away relatively safe without any harm, or as just a little bit of a laugh it off. And therefore, I do believe, oh, I so fucking believe, that if you're lacking in terms of a range of motion, you should definitely work on it. It's good to be flexible. Now you know.